whoa.
With a reaction like this, you can only wonder what just happened to make a man this elated. But it only gets better from here, because what happens next is even more shocking, and has literally never been done on camera before this. This is Dylan Miller. Dylan is ranked 21st in the world for 3x3 average with a 571, but it's safe to say that absolutely nobody expected this sequence of 3 solves that had a lower chance of happening than if I randomly selected somebody out of this whole part of the earth, minus this little bit over here, and this person ended up being you. Convoluted analogy, I know, but let me just explain what happened. Basically, Dylan live streams his solves periodically here on YouTube, and I like to check it out every now and again because it's just really cool to see somebody this fast solve live. But this last Friday, he was doing some solves, and this happened. A sub 3 single on StackMat. This is just the 7th sub 3 solve we've ever seen on camera, and it's also the 5th fastest solve ever done on camera as well. But it gets even crazier, and you'll know what I'm talking about here in a second, but let me just break down the 295 to kind of show you how improbable this solve alone was, along with kind of Dylan's thought process during the solve. Alright, so Dylan does this solve on yellow cross, so we can just scramble with yellow top and green front to make it show up on white. Okay, so just taking a look at the scramble initially, you can see that it's not really all that good. I mean, you do have this block right here, and you could try to make an X cross, but the corner and this edge, the positioning just isn't very good at all. So instead what Dylan does is he decides to preserve this pair, and then also track these two in inspection, and both of these are going to end up being 3 movers into the left, which is very, very nice to start off the solve. So basically what he does is he puts the green and the blue edges on opposites with a D prime, R prime, and that basically puts these two like this. So you can probably notice from here that if we just do a D and then insert this cross edge, we'll have all of these 3 on opposites. But instead of just doing that, Dylan actually preserves this pair again. So what he does is he does a D and U prime at the same time to put this one at the back, and then inserts the cross edge. And now we can just go ahead and finish off the cross. And you'll notice we have this pair that can easily just be inserted into this slot. And so something interesting he does here is he of course just inserts the pair into the front left. And then for this one you might do something like that, but instead he simply actually just pairs these two up and then inserts them. The reason he does this is just because it's overall nicer to go from doing the L moves here just straight into the R move right here, so you can kind of do it at the same time, right? Instead of just having to do another U2. So anyway, he just ends up inserting it into the back like so. But also while you're doing this pair, you can notice that these two, this edge is actually going to be right here, which means that this green-orange pair right here is going to be 2-gen, which means it's just going to be R and U moves, which is very, very nice for execution. And you can see that, of course, whenever you insert it, you're going to get this edge down here. And now he's, of course, tracking this pair. So he just does it like this, and then he just rotates. And now you can insert that one. And now we get to the most important part of the solve, which is this OLS case. And this is something that he basically just said that he does unconsciously, which is he can just immediately recognize what this is, which is instead of just inserting it the standard way like that, you can actually pair it up, and then you have this U2 insert, which will skip OLL. So he immediately notices from this kind of UZBLL formation on the top we have here, that it's just going to be this OLS case, which of course lets him skip OLL. So it's just a U2 insert, and that actually ends up skipping PLL as well with no AUF, which is 1 in 15,000 times 4, which makes this 1 in 60,000 chance of this being a last layer skip with no AUF. He also only inspected for like 3 or 4 seconds on this solve, which is pretty crazy as well. So yeah, 1 in 15,000 odds on that solve alone. And watching it live was just absolutely insane. But on the solve after that, he did something that, to my knowledge, has never been done on camera.
Oh my god, 2 LL skips! 2 LL skips in a row! 2 LL skips in a row!
Another last layer skip right after that solve. The odds of this are basically 1 in 15,000 squared, which is 225 million. And if you're keeping track at this point, all he needs for a sub 4 mean of 3 on StackMat is a 4.90 single. So on the next solve, he does this. With that third solve and a PLL skip, he secured a 3.96 mean of 3, which he didn't even realize it at first, because you don't really know how much a 295 is going to bring down like your mean of 3 in the moment.
Wait, sub 4 mean of 3! Sub 4 mean of 3! Are you serious?
And when averaging out just a few solves like this, it's really going to make a difference. The chances of this sequence happening, a last layer skip, another last layer skip, and then a PLL skip, are 1 in over 6 billion. With 2 solves left, at this point you're just hoping for something that could maybe get you a sub 5 average. And this solve was really unfortunate, of course because of the +2, but also because it just had a lot of potential to actually be a lot better than it was.
I saw this, it was like H, and I was like 3 flat, I get to this. So it's like, I can easily execute this like sub 2. I saw that it was corner solved, and I was like, oh, I'm about to pop off.
And for this one, it's actually really easy to predict PLL from here because you can just see that this edge is going to move up to the front, and now you have 2 opposite headlights, which means it's going to be an H-perm.
Bro, H-perm at sub 4 to clutch PBA05? Are you serious? I can do H-perm in like 0.7? Chat, this is like 4.405! It's whatever.
He said himself that he can usually do this last layer in under 2 seconds, which would have easily made this sub 5 with the right execution. After this, he ended up getting a mid 6, and I bet we've all experienced this feeling before, right? Where you had a really good BPA but didn't end up getting it. Nonetheless, he still did end up getting a 295 and also a 396 mean of 3 on StackMat, which is pretty crazy because we usually see these type of times happen on keyboard or smart cubes or something like that. But to see it on StackMat is always really great. Also, getting all of this on camera is already pretty cool in and of itself, but getting it on a live stream is just absolutely insane. He also got a last layer skip in the first couple of solves on the stream as well.
What the?
But I didn't get to see that, and I only saw the 295, which I'm still very, very happy that I got to see that live, especially considering there are only around like 20 people that are even able to say that. But yeah, you should definitely just go check out a stream sometime if you get the chance. It's always really fun, and some really, really fast solves. I'll also put a link in the description to Dylan's channel and the video of his solves. So yeah. Go and sub, do all that good stuff. Overall, this just proves that the world record single is definitely still very breakable. All it's going to take is a really nice solution from one of the top 30 or 40 cubers in the world for average, at least is what I think. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that for a minute. I just thought that was really cool to see, especially live. With that being said, you thought I forgot. Don't forget, you're still slower than a 6-year-old. That doesn't change. But besides that, yeah, that's about it. See ya.